A very good evening, everyone. Good evening. Yes, the lectures will be in English only. We will be starting with chapter 1. The reason is that it's just a warm up session for us. Yes, it's just a warm up session. So let's begin with unit 1. But this revision is going to be very different from what I have taken in the past. Hi Rudra, how are you? Good to see you. Hi Jay. A very good evening to all of you who have joined. Okay, voice is low. All right, increase it. Can you hear me now? Is it better? Yeah, is it better? Hi, Thiru. Uh, is it better? Is the voice better now? Okay. So this revision session is going to be extremely different from what I have done in the past, and it is going to be totally exam focused. Okay, so we are going to discuss the first chapter, and okay, so we are going to discuss the first chapter, and just a minute, just let me set up things. Okay, all set. Yes. So this is my chart book, and as always, I prefer revising from the chart book because it is the best book for revision. It covers everything which is important for exam. Now, students, these lectures are going to be very different because I am going to concentrate on exam, on the concepts which are important for exam, on the provisions which are important for exam. Uh, I what about live sessions for the foundation? Yeah, I will start, but first let me take care of my CA inter students. Their exam is in November. You still have a long time now. I'm fine, but yes, foundation live sessions also coming up. As far as the revision sessions are concerned, I just want to brief you on my approach. I am going to discuss again. It is low. How come it is so low? Please check your sound because others were saying that now it is proper. Please check the volume at your end because at my end it is fine. I've increased the volume of the mic also. Others, is it really very low now? Is it low? Okay. So continuing with my how I'm going to take the lectures. So these revision lectures are going to be exam focused. We are only going to study the provisions which are important for exam and they are frequently asked in the exam. Okay, so I'm only going to cover the concepts which are very frequently. Okay, so I'm going to cover the concepts which are very frequently asked in the exam. Okay, so what I have done is I have already done some note making for you. I've already done some note making for you. So in this manner, we will discuss a combination of my handwritten notes as well as the chart book. Okay. So these are the important points, like from the concept of one person company. These are the 8 points which are important for exam. Then I have also prepared notes in this manner. Okay. Like this is important from foreign company, electronic mode. So this is a note which I have prepared so that it is easy for you to learn. Okay, so my focus is that you should be able to learn everything for exam. Then again, we have the concept of holding subsidiary. Many students face problems in understanding the layers of subsidiary. So I have a note which will explain what are these layers of subsidiary. I have an example for you. Students face a problem in learning the provisions of Section 8 company. So you won't believe it. This is the entire answer of Section 8 company. Now, these notes form part of my regular lectures also. So I have just handpicked a few of the concepts, and these charts I've handpicked from my regular lectures. The entire concept of Section 8 company is covered in just one page. Similarly, for other chapters also, how to understand section 447. Again, students always face a doubt in, ma'am, how to understand this calculation. So I have chosen few concepts which I feel are important and students always face problems. The concept of entrenchment can be asked as a short note according to my prediction. So these are few concepts which I have handpicked, and we are going to discuss those concepts very quickly. In other chapters also, like for example, deposits, debentures, I know that this is important for exam. This is always asked in the exam. This is the question. So on the basis of the questions which are generally asked in the exam, I have decided that this time our revision is going to I'm going to concentrate only and only on the provisions on which maximum questions are generally asked in the exam. Okay, so on the basis of trend, I will cover the concept. I will try to cover everything, but focus is just on covering what is important for exam, the provisions, the finer points which can be asked as MCQ. Okay, so the revision lectures are going to be totally exam oriented. Now, let us begin our first chapter. Today we are going to revise the entire chapter. We will be covering the types of companies, the preliminary part, the definitions, memorandum, articles, then incorporation of company, etc. Just the basics part, that is, it is just like a warm up for us today. I have also taken the liberty of, hiding few things from you so that you participate and you tell me what the answer should be. Okay, so I want this to be an interactive session. I don't want you to just sit and listen to me. I want you to try and recall the concept. I want you to answer. I want it to be very interactive. I want you to be alert. I want you to rack your brains and then try to recall the concept, the dates, etc. The parts which I have hidden are the keywords. They are the key provisions. They can be asked in the exam. Okay, so let's make this session very interactive. You have to revise the concepts before the lecture, only then it will be worth attending the revision sessions. Otherwise you will just keep listening to me without participating, and then you'll have to put the effort of revising the concepts again. I don't want you to do that. In my next session, I am going to revise with you the concept of prospectus and allotment. So please revise that chapter before you come for the next lecture. Okay, this is a very basic chapter. I think everybody knows mostly all the provisions about it. So that is why let's quickly start our revision. I'm not discussing the basics of company. You already know that it is not important for exam. Concept of one person company, please note students, it is important for MCQ, case-based MCQ, case-based question. Theory question will not be asked from this part, okay, but it is important for MCQ, case-based question and case-based MCQ. All right, how many persons required to form a one person company? Simple question. It's like a warm-up session for us. How many persons required to incorporate? I will teach you how to learn the answer, how to link one word with the next sentence, but for that I need your participation. Yes, how many persons required to incorporate a one person company? Very quickly. So we need only one person. See, now The answer will flash before you. Yes, this was hidden. I will also keep on highlighting how many persons required. Only one person required to form a one person company. That one person is also the director. Okay. Now, no business can run without capital. Is there any minimum paid up capital requirement for OPC? Is there any minimum paid up capital requirement for OPC? There is no minimum paid up capital requirement for OPC. Okay, you can run with any amount of capital. I have just 5,000 rupees. I can incorporate a one person company. Okay, so how to connect these two points now? See, when you try to learn law, it is difficult, but how to link the points? Only one person can be the member. Okay, only one person required to form OPC. Also, that one person is the director. So minimum one, minimum. The next point relates to minimum. Minimum paid up capital, there is no prescribed limit. Okay, so this is how you will connect one point to the other. There is only one member. What if something happens to that member? What if that member dies or is incapacitated to contract? Then you also need to appoint a nominee. The name of the nominee will be indicated where. This is important for MCQ. Where will we write the name of the member, name of the nominee? How will the ROC come to know who is the nominee? Where is the name of the nominee written? Where is the name of the nominee written? If you have attended my Prayas revision lectures, this is very similar to Prayas revision. There also, there were many blanks which we would fill in the class. Yes, tell me. The memorandum of association, let me change the ink, let me type, instead of showing it to you, let me write it for you. The memorandum of association indicates the name of the nominee. Yes, the memorandum, this is important for MCQ. Where is the name written? It is written in the memorandum. Okay, now who is a nominee? What is the relevance of a nominee? So link the point. See, who is a nominee? What is the relevance of a nominee? So nominee is a person who shall, in the event of the death or incapacity of the member, become the member of the OPC. Yes, so he is a person who shall, in the event of the subscriber's death or incapacity, become the member of OPC. What is the eligibility of the member or nominee? Yes, I want you to type and tell me who can become the member or nominee of OPC. What is the eligibility of OPC? There are 3 points. I want you to tell me all the three points of eligibility. Yes, tell me. I'm waiting for your answer. Who is eligible to become a member or nominee of OPC? What is the eligibility requirement? There are 3 points. I want you to name all 3. Only a natural person. Natural means living person. Someone who is a citizen of India. Yes. Why aren't you writing? Yes, only a natural person, someone who is a citizen of India. Yes. And what else? What else? Whether resident in India or not. Okay, we are not concerned whether you are resident in India or not. Even a non-resident Indian can become a member or nominee of OPC. Because they have used the word resident, they have also defined resident. Who is considered as a resident? Yes, for the purpose of OPC, resident means a person who stays in India for how many days? Tell me. Resident is a person who stays in India for how many days? Yes, let's see who's the first one to answer. Resident means a person who stays in India for at least 120 days during the immediately preceding financial year. Okay. So you can also write instead of financial year during the immediately preceding financial year. No, it is not 180. It is 120. Yes, it is 120. So a person who stays in India for at least 120 days during the immediately preceding financial year. Yes, it is 120. Okay, I've received answers from many. Yes, 120. Okay, many have answered. Let's proceed. Now, this is one very important point, that memorandum should indicate the name of the nominee, can be asked as MCQ. This is also important for case-based question. I will keep on telling you what can be asked as case-based question, what will be asked as MCQ. So this will be asked as MCQ. This will be asked as case-based question. Okay, yes, case-based question. Now, I have determined the eligibility of member or nominee. What if I want to change the nominee later? Is it possible to change? Yes. What is the procedure to change? It is very simple. The member will have to give a notice to the company that I wish to change the nominee, and this will be given in form INC 4. So form INC 4 actually is a form to communicate that this is the nominee, and it is also a form to change the nominee. So a member will give a notice to the company that I want to change the nominee and I want to appoint that person as the nominee, and he has also consented to be appointed as the nominee. That consent will be given in form INC 3. The company will then file the form with ROC. Okay, the company will then file the form with ROC. Now, this can be asked as case-based MCQ. Okay, there are case-based MCQs also, wherein you have one lengthy paragraph, one case is given to you, and 5 to 7 questions are asked on that. So this is important for case-based MCQ. So a member will give notice to the company will then give a notice to the ROC. The filing will be in form INC 4, that I want to change the nominee, and also the consent of the nominee will be filed in form INC 3. Both the forms will be given to the company will then file the same with ROC. Forms are also important over here. So these are the important forms for you. You can make a note of it. It is better that you attend the live session, Ansh, but yes, recording will also be available of this lecture on YouTube. Yes, the recording will also be available. Okay. So these are the important forms for exam. INC 2, incorporation of OPC. INC 3, consent as a nominee. INC 4, if I want to change the nominee, or the member has changed, the member died, somebody else has become a member, the nominee becomes a member. The change of member or nominee requires the form INC 4 to be filled. INC 6 is conversion of OPC into either private company or public company. So these are the important forms. Many students had messaged me, ma'am, please cover the important section numbers and also the important forms which we need to memorize for exam. So these are the important forms. Okay. No person should be eligible to incorporate more than one OPC or to be a member in more than one OPC. You can be a member in one OPC, nominee in just one OPC. You cannot be a member in two, nominee in two. But can I be member in one, nominee in another? Yes. Who shall not become a member or nominee of OPC? Achha, this can be asked as simple MCQ. Okay, there are simple MCQs also. Who cannot be? It will be just 1 hour. We are just going to do a very quick revision. Yes, who cannot be a member or nominee of OPC? Can you tell me? Can you answer? This can be asked as simple MCQ. A minor cannot be a member or nominee of OPC. He's not competent to contract. These 3 points, if you have my chart book, which I am very sure you must have purchased. If you have my chart book, please highlight over here. This is important for MCQ. Important for MCQ. These last three bullet points are important for MCQ. Minor shall not become a member or nominee of OPC. An OPC cannot be converted or incorporated into a, I think you guys are a little slow, so let me only write the answers for you. You can go through it later. Otherwise, the revision lecture will become very slow. These are blanks which can be asked as MCQ. So I have just highlighted the blanks for you. You cannot be either incorporated or converted into a section 8 company. This can be asked as MCQ. OPC cannot be incorporated or converted into a section 8 company, but it can be incorporated or converted into either a private company or a public company. OPC cannot carry out. You tell me what kind of activities. If you are very quick to answer, I'm very sure that your answer will be correct. Yes, OPC cannot carry out. Waiting for your answer. OPC cannot carry out NBFC, non-banking financial activities. OPC cannot invest in the securities of any body corporate. You cannot make investments in the name of OPC. But can the member of OPC make investment in his name in the shares of another body corporate? Yes. But can the shares be purchased in the name of OPC? No. So what are the important points of OPC? I am repeating myself, students. This is a totally exam-oriented revision. Can be asked as MCQ. Again, can be asked as a case-based question. To change the nominee can be asked in case-based MCQ. These points are important for simple MCQ. A simple MCQ. Then we have a private company, section 2, clause 68. Do we need to remember the section number over here? Yes. In my chart book, if you have the chart book, please write. We will have daily live class Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday, there will be no class. Monday to Friday, daily, and I will try to cover maximum in a lecture. Okay, I will try to cover maximum. Restrictions imposed. Okay, do we need to remember the section number? Yes. What kind of questions will be asked on this? Normally, case-based questions are asked. Okay, case-based questions are asked on private company. On what part of private company questions are asked? Restrictions imposed by articles. There are 3 restrictions which are imposed by the articles. Let me write them for you. The first restriction is that you cannot make an offer to the public. A private company cannot make an offer to the public. Private company can only go for private placement. You can also offer rights share, bonus share, etc. But you cannot go for a public offer. There is a prohibition on invitation to the public. In case of, as far as the members are concerned, the members are restricted to maximum 200. Okay, members maximum 200, but this will exclude the present employees who are employees as well as the members. It will exclude the ex-employees who have already left the organization but they still continue to be the members. There is restriction on the transfer of shares. Okay, there is a restriction on transferability. There is a restriction on transfer of shares. You can transfer shares only to a selected group of people or who are approved by the board of directors. You cannot freely transfer the shares just like a public company. This is something on which case-based questions are generally asked. They will give you, the company has 145 members, these many joint holders, these many ex-employees, these many, and then you have to decide whether it is a private company or should it convert itself into a public company. So this is a case-based type question. Please note, students, that while calculating the maximum number of 200, you will not include ex-employees who have left the organization but continue to remain the members. You will not include present employees who have also purchased shares of the company. Joint holders will be treated as one. One very important point over here which I would like to highlight. The existing members are 199. Mr. and Mrs. Gupta, they have jointly purchased the shares. Will the company continue to remain a private company or will it be converted into a public company? Now over here, joint holders are treated just as one. So you already have 199 members. You have one member added. There are 200 members. you can still continue business as a private company. Okay, important for case based question. Then public company, not many questions have been asked on public company. In case a question is asked on public company, it will be on this particular bullet point. A case based question is generally asked on the last bullet point. Okay, it's a very simple one. Public company is a company which is not a private company. Articles do not have the restriction. Shares are freely transferable. Minimum number of members, you need 7. Maximum number, there is no limit. Minimum number of directors, you need minimum 3. Private subsidiary of a public company is deemed to be a public company. Okay, it is deemed to be a public company. Private subsidiary is also deemed to be a public company. So does it mean that it needs to change the articles? We need to remove the restriction? That is not the case. The privileges of a private company will not be available. Okay, so this is important for case based question. Deemed public company, you need not change your articles, you need not change the name. Only thing is the privileges of a private company will not be available. So this is important for case based question. As far as the classification on the basis of liability is concerned, companies may be classified. This is a small chart which I have prepared. You can also later on view the recording, copy this in your notebook. This is a part of my regular lectures. On the basis of liability, the company may be classified as company limited by shares, company limited by guarantee, unlimited liability company. I don't think a question will be asked on this part. If a question is asked, it may be asked on a company limited by guarantee. If you have my textbook, please go through the answer on company limited by guarantee. There are a few points which can be asked in the exam. Okay, company limited by shares, the amount is my liability is limited to the amount which is unpaid on shares. In case of guarantee, the amount that I have guaranteed. It may have share capital, it may not have share capital. If it has share capital, then the liability will be 2, that is amount unpaid on shares as well as the amount of guarantee. If it does not have share capital, it will be just one liability, the amount which is guaranteed. This amount of guarantee will be given at the time of winding up. This is something which you had already studied in foundation. It is not important for exam. In case of unlimited liability company, the liability is not always unlimited. During the lifetime, you get to enjoy limited liability. As far as winding up is concerned, your liability will become unlimited. So only at the time of winding up that the liability will be unlimited, not important for exam. This is something which is only for our knowledge. Please note, student, that the company's liability is always unlimited. Whenever we discuss the liability, we are always discussing liability of the member. Member's liability may be either limited by shares, guarantee, or it may be an unlimited liability. We are only discussing the member's liability. This is just for your knowledge. Questions will generally not be asked. Okay. So this is one note which you can write later. All right, next moving to a foreign company. Now, what kind of questions can be asked on foreign company? It will be 99% case-based question. There are two types of case-based questions which are asked. The first type is you have to determine whether it is a foreign company. This is one type of question which is asked. They will give you a scenario. You have to decide whether it is a foreign company or not. Another type of question is based on electronic mode. So there are two types of case-based question. According to me, this is expected in exam. Okay, it can be asked in exam. Electronic mode. Now, definition you are already aware of. It foreign company is a company which is incorporated outside India, but it has a place of business in India. It carries on business activity in India. For that Indian business, okay, whatever you are carrying out in India, only for that part of business, the Companies Act will apply. This you already know. But what is important for exam is Rule 2 of the company specification of definition detail rule 2014. What is the meaning of electronic mode? This is something which students are not able to remember. That is why I have prepared a small chart for you. So electronic mode means you are carrying out electronically based activities. So you may be present through social media, you may be present through telecommuting, telemarketing, telemedicine, data computing, etc. So the company may be present physically or electronically. Now electronically, this can be asked as MCQ. Server is not located in India, doesn't matter. You are carrying out business in India, Companies Act will apply to that particular business in India. It includes, but it is not limited to. It means we are just giving you a few points, but it is not limited to just this. Now, how to remember? B2B, business to business. B2C, business to consumer. Okay, so electronic may be B2B, B2C. Data interchange, data supply transaction, deposits. D, D, D. Will you remember this? D3. Okay, B2B, B2C, D, D, D. D, D, D is data interchange, data supply transaction, deposit. Financial settlement, web-based marketing, advisory transaction-based supply chain management, SCM, supply chain management. Tele, marketing, telecommuting, telemedicine. Education, information research. Email, mobile, social media, cloud computing, document management, voice or data transmission. Okay, so this is one note which I have prepared for you so that it is easy for you to memorize the topic on electronic mode. You have to write everything. Now, if a question is asked on this, you have to write all this and then say, yeah, the company is into telemarketing. So it has presence in India through electronic mode. It is a foreign company. But you will have to write everything in your answer. In conclusion, you will say, yeah, it is carrying on telemarketing. So it is a foreign company. Please refer my compiler for questions. That is foreign company. Now, holding and subsidiary company, important. Okay, I have a note for that also. I know it is not possible for you to write these notes now, so you will have to come again to these lectures, pause the lecture, write this in your notebook. These are charts from my regular lectures. So I have handpicked a few charts which I feel are important for you. Holding and subsidiary company, something which we are studying since foundation. Section numbers are important, very important for exam. Now, I am a subsidiary if the holding owns half of the total voting power. Now, what is the meaning of total voting power? Total voting power means the total number of votes which may be cast in regard to a matter if all the members, I have highlighted the keywords for you. If all the members or their proxy, they are present and they cast their vote. So if I have 5,000 members, they have one share, one vote. If all of them come and vote, then that is my total voting power. They may cast their vote if all the members come. If we are talking about total voting power, then you will consider or include only the equity shares. If you are talking about total share capital, that includes equity and convertible preference share capital. This is an interpretation which I want you to know. Total voting power will include only the equity shares, and total share capital includes equity as well as the convertible preference share. Don't bother writing now, come back and then you can write. Now just pay attention to what is important for exam and what is not important. If we own half of the total voting power, at least half. Now, if you own exact 50%, you are not a subsidiary. Okay, so I have written that question over here in my chart book. You can write this: exact 50%, not a subsidiary. 51%, yes, you are a subsidiary. Okay. Now, if I own more than half of the total voting power, owns more than half of the total voting power, either on its own, so H owns 60% in S, S is the subsidiary, or together with one or more subsidiaries. H plus S both own 70% in S1. S1 is the subsidiary of H. H owns 70% in S. H owns 60% in S. S owns 70% in S1. S1 is the subsidiary of H. Okay, S1 is the subsidiary of either controls the composition of board of power. Now, what is the meaning of controlling the composition? H on its own, without asking anyone, can either appoint or remove all or majority directors of S. Then yes, we are subsidiary. H has purchased so much capital in S that it can control the board of directors. H is the holding of S, or in other words, S is the subsidiary. H has given loan to S, and because they have given so much loan that S has allowed H to control the board of directors, S is the subsidiary of H. Now, many students have a doubt in the layers of subsidiary. Layers. A company cannot have more than two layers of subsidiary. How is that calculated? A Limited has three subsidiaries: B Limited, C Limited, D Limited. A owns 60% in B Limited, 66 in C Limited, 100% in D. This is the wholly owned subsidiary. Now, this is layer 1. Okay, this is the first layer. But wholly owned subsidiary is not considered as layer. Ma'am, still there is some confusion. What are these layers exactly? See, students, H has three subsidiaries. They have another subsidiary. Okay, then they have another subsidiary. This forms layers. So this is the first layer, this is the second layer, and this is the third layer. Okay, so H has three subsidiaries. The subsidiaries further have subsidiaries, they further have subsidiaries. Okay, so H has S1, S2, S3. S1 has further three subsidiaries, S4, 5 and 6. S4 has a further subsidiary. Okay, so these form layers, layer upon layer, subsidiary ki subsidiary ki subsidiary. Now, A Limited has three subsidiaries. Okay, B Limited has a subsidiary, E Limited. So this is the first layer and this is the second layer. You cannot go beyond this. Third layer is not allowed. A has another subsidiary, C. This is the first layer. There is no layer beyond this. A Limited has a subsidiary, D Limited. D has a subsidiary, F Limited. F has a subsidiary, H Limited. Now, for A Limited, this is not the first layer because wholly owned subsidiary is not considered as a layer. Then A Limited has the first layer, that is F Limited. This is now the second layer. F has another subsidiary S. This is the second layer. I cannot go beyond this. There can be any number of subsidiaries in one layer. So in layer 1, I can have 50 subsidiaries. That is okay. There is no limit on, or there is no horizontal limit. There is a vertical limit. Okay. Horizontally means in one layer I can have many. Like here he has 3. Okay. A Limited has 3 subsidiaries in that layer. There is no limit on the horizontal layer. There is a limit on the vertical. So layer 1, layer 2, that's it. Here layer 1, that's it. This is not considered as a layer. This is layer 1 and layer. So these are the layers of subsidiaries. Wholly owned subsidiary is not considered as a layer. Okay, so that was holding and subsidiary. Yes, holding and subsidiary. Associate means we control minimum 20%. Here it is exact 20%. Exact 20%, yes, it is an associate. Definition you are already aware of. You have studied that in foundation also. Government company at least 51%. If it is 50%, then it is not a government company. Owned or held by either the central government, one or more state governments, or partly by central government, partly by one or more state governments. Okay, it includes a company which is subsidiary. Please note, this is very important for case based question. It is a simple one, but it is important for case based. Hi Pawan, good evening. Formation of company with charitable object, section 8 company. Yes, section 8 company, many students have a doubt here. So I have a note for you students. This is a part of my regular lectures. Section 8 company is a company which has specified objects. It will apply the income in promoting that specified object. It prohibits the payment of dividend. If it declares dividend, the central government, they will revoke the license. Okay. So it has specified objects. It will apply the income in that object, prohibits the payment of dividend to members. This is important for case based question. Important for case based question. How to incorporate Section 8 company? This is asked as a theory question. You want me to write it for you? This is important for case based. This is important for theory. They ask you to write the procedure to incorporate a Section 8 company. This is important for theory question. So you need to prepare the bylaws or memorandum articles just like any other company. It will have limited liability. It can be incorporated as a private company or a public company with share capital, without share capital. It need not add the word limited or private limited to the name. So these are the provisions relating to incorporation. Alteration of memorandum and articles, you need the previous approval of the central government. The central government has delegated this authority to the ROC. This is very important for MCQ, especially case-based MCQ. Okay. Alteration, you need previous approval. Okay. This is also important for case-based question. Now, what kind of questions are asked on this? The word previous has been highlighted for you. It means that if you want to make any change in the memorandum or articles of a Section 8 company, you need to obtain the approval of central government before you make the change. Case-based question can be asked where the company obtained the consent, but after, okay, they obtained the consent after making the change. Is the company's stand valid? No. The consent should be obtained before, okay, previous consent should be obtained. In case the company fails to comply with the requirements of this act, then the central government, the authority has been delegated to the regional director. Central government will revoke the license and immediately ROC will put the word limited or private limited at the end of the name. If the central government has revoked the license, okay, if the central government has revoked the license and they also feel that it is essential in the public interest, they may direct the company to be wound up or amalgamated with a Section 8 company having similar objects. Ma'am, what is the meaning of similar object? If I am into promotion of sports, I can be amalgamated with a company which is into promotion of sports. If I am into, let's say, promotion of art, science, culture, I can be amalgamated with a company having similar objects of promoting art, science, and culture. So this can be again asked as a case-based question. According to me, this part is very important for case-based question, very frequently asked in the exam. You will find all the case-based questions in my compiler. If you are wondering what is my compiler, it is a compilation of all past exam questions, study material, RTP, MTP question. It looks something like this. So if you see, there are many questions which are asked, like this is a question on small company provisions. This is how you will write in the exam. Provisions, facts, analysis, conclusion. Okay. Like I was telling you, private company question is generally asked on the 200 ka number. See, this is how they will give you data and then they will ask you to. Okay. Very good, Pawan. All right. So this is how questions will be asked. Again, this is asked on foreign company, electronic mode. Yes. Then what kind of question is asked on Section 8 company? This is on OPC. See this. The company is into promoting cricket, and is there any provision to revoke the license? Whether the company may be wound up? Can it be merged? Okay. So this is the type of question which will be asked. That is why, according to me, this particular part of my note is very important for case-based questions. Students, if you see my compiler, the answers are written in provisions, analysis, conclusion. Okay, they are written in 4-step format. 4-step: provisions, facts, analysis, conclusion. So my compiler is available on my website, capreetiaggarwal.com. You can purchase it. all the questions in your exam will be from this book only. It is my guarantee. Okay. I will also leave a link. I currently don't have the link right now. I'll have to search for it. Yes, go to my website capreetiagarwal.com. There are books, lectures, test series available. This is the link for the compiler. These are my books. Yes, just go for the compiler and I'm sure you will be able to score excellent marks. You still have time. And of course, these revision lectures will give you an idea about what kind of questions are asked, what is important for it. Okay, yes, a one person company can be converted into any other type of company. You just need to pass a special resolution in the general meeting. Winding up and dissolution of the company, yes, at the time of winding up, the company will sell the assets, pay off the liabilities. If there are any surplus assets, there are two things which the Section 8 company can do. One is transfer to another company having similar objects, or they can transfer the money, sell the assets, and transfer the proceeds to insolvency bankruptcy fund under Section 224 of the Insolvency Bankruptcy Code. This is also very important for case based question, very frequently asked. Okay, so what can be done with the assets? Either you transfer them to Section 8 company with similar objects, or you sell the assets, and whatever proceeds you get from the sale of that assets, you will transfer to insolvency and bankruptcy fund created under Section 224. That is not there in your exam. Just remember the section number of the IBC 2016. Okay, so this is on Section 8. Next we have Section 2 clause 85, which defines a small company. Very, very important definition. Okay, now what is a small company? Small company is a company in which paid up capital is not more than rupees 50 lakhs or a higher amount which may be prescribed. What is prescribed? It was prescribed later in the rules. It should not exceed 4 crore and the turnover should not exceed 40 crore. That was specified later. Ma'am, how do we write this in the exam? Okay, how do we write this in the exam? Many students are confused. Many students write over here 4 crore and 40 crore. This is wrong way of writing. There was no amendment in the definition. The amendment was made in the rules. This is how you will write. Okay, this is how you will write. Over here you have to write 50 crore and 2 crore on 50 lakhs and 2 crore only. The amendment was made in the rules 4 crore and 40 crore. Ma'am, all right, we will write this in the exam. But what is the limit that we need to check in the question? 4 crore and 40 crore. So if the paid up capital is not exceeding 4 crore or 40 crore, then you are a small company. But this will not apply to a holding subsidiary company. See, if you are a holding company, you are already at a very big scale of business. You will not get the benefit or privilege of a small company. Non-profit organization, we are anyways giving you many privileges. Company or body corporate governed by any special act, you are anyways not governed by the Companies Act. Why should this privilege be given to you? So this was about the types of company. Students, incorporation of company, you can go through it from my chart book. This is just a step-by-step procedure. You just need to learn what is important for exam, what will be asked in the exam. Section 3 capital A, Section 10, and furnishing of false information either before or at the time of incorporation. Okay, now Section 3 capital A says that if the number of members at any point of time reduces below 2 in case of private company, 7 in case of public company, we will allow you to do business for 6 months. If you still continue the business, then any person who is aware that the company is running with a reduced number will be personally liable for all the debts contracted after 6 months. It means that person will be personally liable. Corporate veil is lifted. The minimum number must be maintained by the company throughout the lifetime of the company. If at any time it reduces below this minimum number, we will allow you to do business for 6 months. If you still continue doing the business, then any person who is a member of the company and he is aware, he knows that the company is carrying on the business, so you will start being severally liable for all the debts which are contracted after 6 months. So for the debts contracted after 6 months, that person who knows about this will be liable. Is this important? Yes, this part is very important for case based question. Okay, this word is very important. Like they will ask you a case based question that the person was not aware. I will show it to you in my compiler. Just let me find it for you. It's a very interesting question. Okay, so this is the type of question. Where is it? Huh. See this. This is a type of question which is asked. Company was incorporated, it is in several severe depression. The company had 250 members. By 15, the only 244 withdrew their holding. No new member invested in the company. Now you have to decide, can the company, Mr. A, an existing member, has approached you to advise him. So out of 250 members, 244 members have already left. There are only 6 members. This is a public company. Section 3A will apply. We will allow you to do business for 6 months. After 6 months, any person who was aware will be personally liable. So there are only 6 members and they carry on the business for more than 6 months. Then every member who is aware will be liable for all the debts contracted after 6 months. They may be severally sued. So this is a type of question which can be asked on section 3A. Okay. So here you will write the provisions and then you will explain the calculation and also write in analysis and conclusion. So this is a type of question which can be asked. They can also ask you a question like, one director is aware, other is not aware. So only the one who is aware member will be liable. One who was living outside India, he was not aware, then he is not liable. That is also a type of question which can be asked. Then commencement of business, section 10. If you are a company incorporated after this act, amendment act, and you have share capital, a declaration will be filed in INC 20A. Okay, form INC 20A. A declaration will be filed by the directors within 180 days. This is not 6 months, it is 180 days. A declaration will be filed that yes, whatever amount we had mentioned in the memorandum as paid up has been actually paid at the day of making the declaration. See, this is just a proof that whatever amount was written as paid up, we have actually brought in the company. When I had incorporated the company, I had also given my bank statement showing to the ROC that I have contributed whatever paid up amount I had promised. How? Because ROC feels without money, how will you carry on the business? Okay. So within 180 days, I have to file a declaration in form INC 20A, and the company also has to submit a verification of its registered office. And yes, this will be submitted within 30 days of incorporation. Okay, we will also refer section 12 for it later. Section 12 we are going to refer, that also covers registered office. Within 30 days of incorporation, you will also have to submit that form number. If you want to write it as INC 22. Within form INC 20, this form is important for exam. It is very frequently asked in case based question. This is an important form, INC 22. Okay, verification of the registered office. If no declaration has been made and the ROC feels that you are not carrying on any business, then the ROC will initiate the removal of the name from the register. Again, this is also very important for exam. Mostly it can be asked as a theory question. Okay, as a theory question. All right, 4 marks weightage, theory question. You have to write everything. This you are already aware, you have studied in foundation. Many students mostly have a doubt in section 447. Ma'am, we are not able to understand how this section 447 operates. Now section 447 is punishment for fraud. Step number 1, calculate 1% of turnover. Let's say it is coming to 8 lakh rupees. Step number 2, compare it with 10 lakhs, whichever is lower, 8 lakhs. If the amount of your fraud is less than 8 lakhs, say for example, my fraud is 5 lakhs, then this will apply. This means this row will apply. If the amount of fraud is more than 8 lakhs or equal to 8 lakhs, okay, equal to or more than 8 lakhs, then this row will apply. Are you getting me? Step number 1, calculate 1% of turnover. For example, it is coming to 8 lakhs. Compare it with 10 lakhs, whichever is lower, 8 lakhs. Now keep this in mind. If fraud is less than 8 lakh, this will apply. If fraud is 8 lakh or more than 8 lakh, this will apply. Variation, okay? Let's say 1% of turnover comes to rupees 12 lakhs. Compare it with 10 lakh, whichever is lower, 10 lakh. If the fraud is less than 10 lakh, first row will apply. If the fraud is 10 lakh or more than 10 lakh, second row will apply. If the fraud also involves public interest, then instead of 6 months, it will increase to 3 years minimum imprisonment. Rest everything will remain the same. Did you understand? Section 447. Okay. Students, I had intention of covering this also. So if you allow memorandum and articles, we can just in another 10 minutes cover this. Because everything is so beautifully given in my chart book that in 10 minutes you will come to know what is the procedure and what is important for exam. Okay, in 10 minutes we will cover this chapter. It is possible through my chart book. Now, what kind of questions are generally asked on memorandum and articles of association? Case-based questions, but theory question can be asked on part of alteration. Okay, framing will be like a case-based question, but you have to write the theory. So memorandum and articles basically can be asked as case-based, but this is asked as theory. Most important for exam, most important, object clause, most important. Alteration of registered office, alteration of name, compulsory name change. Uh, Capital clause section 61, this one, this part. Okay. And entrenchment. This can be asked for case based. Okay. Most important, object clause. Object clause is full important. Okay. Even the alteration part. All right. Very important. Name clause. Yes, the name should not be. This is one chart which I have prepared. Students, don't worry. You will get a recording. So you can come again, copy this in your notebook. Okay. So rule 8, rule 8a and rule 8b. Rule 8 says that you cannot have name which resembles the name of an existing company. Like there is an existing company, JK Industries. I cannot have J.K, J and K, J and K, J and K. Rule 8a says that the name should not be undesirable. It should not be prohibited under the Emblems and Names Prevention of Improper Use Act. If it includes a trademark, then that will not be allowed. It should not contain words which are offensive to any section of public. There are certain words, expressions which require the approval of the central government. Like if you want to include the name board, commission, authority, undertaking, national, union, etc., you need the approval of the board, of the central government. Okay. So yes, this is important. If you want, you can write this later in your notebook. Okay. So name clause. Now, if I want to alter the name clause, if I want to voluntarily alter the name clause, okay, just pass a special resolution. So see how I have given you the procedures. Special resolution will be passed, Also take approval of CG, central government. Change of name is not allowed to company defaulting in annual return under section 92, financial statement 137, repayment of matured deposit or debentures with interest. So if I want to voluntarily change the name of my company, I need to pass a special resolution. I need approval of the central government. Name change is not allowed if I have defaulted in filing the annual return, financial statements under section 137, or repayment of matured deposits along with or debentures along with interest. This talks about voluntary name change. The central government has delegated their authority to ROC. Compulsory name change. Now, what is compulsory name change? My name resembles the name of another company. They had approached me. I am not ready to change my name. So they approach the central government. The central government will pass an order. I will have to compulsorily change the name within 3 months of receiving the order. The company will change the name in 3 months by passing just an ordinary resolution. We will also require approval of CG. Students, please note, name change requires approval of central government. Whether it is compulsory name change, voluntary name change, you need the approval of central government. So company will change the name in 3 months by passing an ordinary resolution. Approval of CG is required. If we feel that your name is very similar to an existing company, you are not changing on your own, we will pass an order and you will have to compulsorily change. The company is not bothered only. They don't want to change the name. All right, then the central government will allot a very unique name. Unique, it's not very nice. ORDNC. It means Order of Regional Director Not Complied With. The authority has been delegated to the regional director. So, order of regional director not complied with. The year of direction, it will be followed. This is the name of the company. ORDNC followed by the year of direction, serial number and corporate identification number. This will become your name. Immediately ROC will enter the name in the register and issue a certificate with this name. But you can still voluntarily change the name of your company by following this procedure under section 13. So every step is given to you over here. Okay. Registered office is a place where normally communications take place, books of accounts, letters are stored. It is notices are sent, income tax notice, everything notices are sent over here. The registered office must be established within 30 days of incorporation and a notice must also be given to the ROC. We have to give a verification along with utility bill, power bill, light bill, water bill, rent agreement. Some proof has to be given. This will be done in form INC 22. Now form INC 22 will be filed for giving notice of the situation of the registered office as well as change of the registered office. So INC 2 and 22 is filed for giving a notice of situation of registered office plus notice of change in the registered office. Okay, so both require form INC 22. In case I am shifting my registered office from one place to the other, there is a procedure required. Very important for exam, very important for case-based MCQ. Change from one ROC to the other ROC within the same state. Okay, now this is possible only in two states, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. Okay, in Maharashtra there are two ROCs, one in Mumbai, other in Pune. In Tamil Nadu there are two ROCs, one in Chennai, other in Coimbatore. So I am shifting from Mumbai ROC to Pune ROC. Pass SR, obtain approval from regional director. Now ROCs are under the regional director. So you are informing the regional director that I want to shift from one ROC to the other, obtain regional director's approval, file SR and approval approval of regional director with ROC. Registrar will register and certify the change. Step-wise procedure is given. If I am shifting from one state to another state, a memorandum will be altered. What is the procedure? Pass a special resolution, obtain approval from the central government that you are moving from one state to the other state. Obtain approval from the shareholders, debenture holders, other affected parties whose claim is likely to be affected. You're shifting from one state to the other state. Here, if you want, you can write down that this has been delegated to the regional director. Power has been delegated to the regional director. You will obtain approval from the shareholders, debenture holders, and other parties. See, if they agree to this change, very good. If they don't agree, then we will settle their claim. So either obtain their approval or settle their claim. So either obtain their approval or settle their claim. So either obtain approval or settle their claim. Obtain from ROC fresh certificate of incorporation indicating the alteration. This will be obtained from the ROC of the state where we are shifting. Okay. Students, I think we are exceeding our lecture time. This will still take time. Let's wrap up for today. In my next session, which will be tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow, please go through prospectus and allotment. I will be covering that chapter, and I will also be finishing memorandum and articles of association. Okay. This book can be purchased from my website, capreetiaggarwal.com. Compiler is also available. We are doing a very exam oriented revision. I will be telling you what is important for exam, what kind of questions will be asked, like how I did in the previous case, whether case-based questions will be asked, whether MCQ will be asked. Please make a note of all that so that you are aware of the kind of questions to be asked from this chapter. In my chart book, everything is properly written over here. Pass SR, obtain approval from regional director, file SR, and the approval with ROC. ROC will register and certify the change. You can easily convert this into sentence form in the exam. Students, these are revision lectures. We revise the concept. We tell you what is important for exam, but we cannot learn for you. I cannot learn this for you. You will have to learn this on your own. So please take effort in learning. This book I have put in a lot of effort in compiling the book in just 17 pages. So it is not available for free. I cannot share it for free. Please don't ask me. I have put in a lot of effort. So I'm just asking you to pay for the effort. Okay. So I will see you tomorrow. We will complete this chapter. I will also discuss prospectus and allotment and what is important for exam. Before leaving, please leave a feedback. Give me a thumbs up so that it encourages me and it motivates me to come tomorrow again for the live session at 7 p.m. Okay, students? So I take your leave. I'll see you tomorrow.